Welcome to the Employco HR Chat. I'm Rob Wilson, and with me is Jason Eisenhunt.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us for this week's HR Chat. So, Jason, the topic today is what's the best practices for rescinding a job offer?
Yeah, hopefully you don't have to go through this that often, but if you do, it gets a little complicated, and there's some steps that we'll go through. But generally, this comes into light when you have hopefully a good job offer, and we can help with job offer templates. But something in there that says this job offer is subject to successful completion of a drug test or criminal background screen or credit check. And then so you have this job offer, it's pending. And then if the person fails the criminal background screen or the drug test, and there's some caveats on kind of what you should do if you really should rescind a job offer based on a certain person's crime, how long ago is it job related, things like that. But if you do need to rescind a job offer, depending on what you do, depending on the reason, you can need to follow some certain steps. Like if it's criminal background, the FCRA says there are certain notices and adverse selection that you need to do, adverse action that you need to do to send them a notice to say they can appeal and things like that. So
So now on a criminal side, so the person doesn't disclose it because they don't have to during the job interview, and then you find out pretty checker pass. Maybe the guy just got out of or a woman just got out of prison in the last year or so,
right.
whatever the issue was. Is there any best practice as far as how far back you look?
So generally, the unwritten rule is around 7 years, and it should be job related too. So if someone got a driving under the influence 15 years ago and it's for an accounting position and showing up, you really should not rescind a job offer on that. But if it's felony theft and you're hiring for a CFO position and that was just 2 years ago, then you do have the a leg to stand on for rescinding the job offer, and just make sure you go through those adverse action and the notices.
Like murder probably cross all of them, right?
Yeah.
So from a employee safety standpoint, but yeah, and so it's giving proper notice in that case. If it's a criminal issue, you've got to give them the opportunity to appeal or
Exactly right.
no. So what about other issues, drug
Yeah.
related or
Yeah, so for drug tests in some states, a medical review officer is required. So if I fail the drug test and I'm on Ritalin and that triggered a certain failed category of a drug test, I shouldn't automatically be disqualified, or at least I should have the ability to appeal maybe to a medical review officer that I send in the prescription. My doctor says it, or Walgreens showing that I just filled it 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
The medical review officer says, okay, say at that dosage, it would trigger, okay, we're going to approve it now. So there are certain states that require certain steps before you rescind a job offer for drug tests.
So now, my theoretically, I'm XYZ business. My business is growing. I put an ad out. I hire someone. Trump announced tariffs, and I then say, "What's going to happen? You know what? I need to. I Before you start, I need to rescind that job offer because I too much uncertainty."
It's perfectly legal. Want to make sure it's in writing, and in that area, you want to make sure it's non-discriminatory. So, if I'm offering 3 people the job, you want to be careful that you're not rescinding 2 of the 3, and it's related to race, religion, gender, national origin, one of those categories. But if it's just one person, I'm a 20 employee company going to 21, and I'm worried about the economy, definitely can rescind. It may not look the best for PR, and that person tells friends and family, but it's a legitimate concern, and I think that would be fine to no problem at all.
Because I think from an economic standpoint, I think you had some employers that were pretty worried over the last couple of weeks when the tariffs are coming in. What does that affect you on your import or your export business? And is it going to force the economy into a recession? So, long run, you're moving past it, but in the short run, I think people are concerned.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. Yeah, it's unrelated to your protected category, any medical issues, perfectly legal to do. Just want to try and do it the right way.
And so you've got your federal issues, state issues, and in some cases, city issues.
Right.
So
Yeah.
is that uh, how different do you see that?
It really depends. So, like certain, like California can get pretty minute. The city of Chicago can get pretty detailed in certain terms of some of their rules and regulations. So, it's really on a case by case, fact by basis. So, let us know, hr@employco.com. We can walk you through if there was any specific examples, like, okay, I'm hiring someone in West Hollywood and I've already decided I want to rescind it because of X, Y, and Z. Can I do this? And how should I do it?
Right,
We can
whether
help.
it's remote, because today it really doesn't matter where you're based. It's
Right.
where that person lives
Yep.
is the jurisdiction that really applies.
Right. Yep.
So, but so great topic. So, and if you have questions, feel free to reach out to Jason at HR@employco.com.
Yeah, we have an entire HR compliance overview. It's, I think, a multi-page, great document PDF. We can email that out to you if you're interested.
Right. Thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you.
Thanks.